Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Option Pit. This is the Morning Vol Report. This is Andrew Giovinazzi, Chief Operating Officer of OptionPit.com. Welcoming you to said Vol Report. Speaking of Vol, VIX made easy. If this course doesn't make you $97, I will be surprised. 6 hours, you will know how to trade VIX after this, and guarantee that you will know more than you did when you walked in. If you're an Option Pit Live subscriber member, this course comes with your subscription. This is basically our Saturday course. We're just turning it into a weekday course before Christmas. Okay. So what we'll show you, basically how your VIX futures price around vol in the VIX, explaining backwardation and contango, also how to use it to help you kind of estimate market movement. Also setting up terms and strikes and really learning how to use what I call the VIX calendar. It's not a VIX calendar as in a time spread, but using how to use the actual expiration calendar to put on trades the right way. We will touch on the VIX ETPs like VXX and UVXY just a little bit, but also will help you with basic option positioning with VIX and actually show you how to use it the right way. And that starts tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Now, what do we have coming up here? Well, we've got the Fed meeting. Yesterday we had a little lift. I don't know if you saw our blog or not. And blog's not bad. So here, just looking at what is going on with volatility, what is making it move. We had a kind of VIX up, SPX up. The market is certainly starting to load something in, right? It's loading in tax reform. It's loading in, actually, it wants higher interest rates at this point. I think backtracking or anything like that won't be good. So maybe changing the pace of the Fed unwinding, who knows? But anyway, I don't expect a lot to happen until this afternoon. I mean, everything is a little flat except for NASDAQ ripping, mostly probably because of Apple. I think it was up a couple of bucks today. But the reality is we shouldn't see too much. So a couple of interesting things, though. We will look at some TLT. We've been pricing straddles in there for this rate move to see really if it kind of just pulls back to some of these levels that it was when everybody thought interest rates were rising. Also, we'll look at GGP, General Growth Properties, possible takeover. Also looking at the semiconductors to see if we have any bounce in there. That's what we looked at. We have been looking at to see if there's a little bit something going on. So it's trying. So it's still been kind of stuck in a range. But basically, again, I don't see much happening till then. Premium in VIX is still pretty solid as far as, I wouldn't say the implied volatility is very high. Let's just go like 30-day volatility. Is that till January? It's kind of in the year range, right? Sort of in the middle. Nothing really great. Not too expensive, not too cheap. But future prices, right, this Jan cycle actually is getting closer to fair. The one thing is VIX-MO is kind of the old calculation is still pretty low. So there's potential for the vol products to really kind of fall apart, you know, if the market likes whatever the Fed says and if the tax reform comes and all that kind of stuff. So right now, implied volatility in the Jan cycle is pricing very inexpensive for the SPX. So, you know, does that portend the Santa Claus rally? Usually it does, but there could be a surprise. But again, I don't see much happening today until, you know, the Fed says something, and then we'll see if they let a little of the gas out of VIX cash. It's been in the VIX cash has been in the low nines, or has traded there, and it certainly can trade again, especially if we just sit here. So, you know, it's basically the market's looking for lower vol or kind of the same rally, and it just remains to be seen if we get it or not. But it's pricing that currently. And with that, everybody, we'll see you in our chat room today. Bye-bye.